Hello, people. Welcome to the Fashion Furious Podcast. I am your host, Raider. Welcome. We're finally here. You listened to the introduction. Now, this is a little background about myself and why I created this podcast. Okay, so just to jump in right into it, I am a freelance working designer in New York City. I have been freelancing in all categories of apparel design. When I say categories, I mean denim, knitwear, woven wear, outerwear, sweaters, which is my favorite, and various graphic design positions. The point of this, before I even go there, I am a native New Orleanian, born and raised in the Third Ward Callio projects, the same place where Master P came from, Lil Wayne, and all of the basically the bounce rap in New Orleans. So I guess initially I came from streetwear or street gear. That's what I grew up on, hip hop. And from those skills and my flair of fashion and art, and being from a place like New Orleans, naturally I went to art school, and through that I found that I needed to do something, that it was a skill, a commercial skill, that I would be able to sustain myself in a big city. So I fell upon fashion. And as you know right now, and if you work in fashion, fashion is basically in a toilet. It's a dead end position. It's a dead end industry right now. I don't even know why they still offering it in school. I guess it's just because of the trade. But the amount of money that some schools are charging for fashion training is absurd, and it should be stopped. And this is one of the reasons I created this podcast, for us to vent and basically talk shit about things that we feel deeply about and passionate about. Because, of course, fashion is a passion. You have to be one that truly live and breathe the shit and able to deal with the shenanigans around the industry, deal with the crazy ass people in the industry, and kind of pay your dues over and over again to arrive. And with that, you understand how to move and how to play the game and how to cover your ass. Okay? So, with that said, what separates us, our podcast, from the rest? Well, I'm not a French man living in France that's disconnected from the streets, that live this frou-frou life on this hill with chiffon fabric growing and grapes and people feeding them. And I'm not a champagne popping Instagram model on Molly, doing, fashion as a hobby. I live and breathe it. I'm from the street. I make a salary that most people make, so I'm, shopping in the same malls, shopping in the same department stores. I am basically one that is one of the designers, which I like to call them as hustlers, that is basically dressing America and the world. And basically, uh, it's basically us that trains China, us that has to really be in communication with China to make sure that all of these department stores, majority of the major labels that you see, have everything they need, and the trends that you guys have. It's basically off of a lot of times entry level, mid level designers. The highest, the senior level sometimes. A lot of them have a lot of talent, and some of them, we wonder how the hell they got in the position. But that's a whole nother topic we'll talk about eventually in the show's history, under the nepotism tab. Okay? All right. So, just a little about the mission statement. Okay, folks? The mission statement. I want you to hear this loud and clear. All right? This podcast is to create an informative environment for aspiring designers and working designers to air out their shit, vent, and give each other information: what to do, what not to do, what to say, what not to say, what fashion houses to stay the hell away from. The vision of this is basically, my hope is to create accountability, a priority among the decision makers, and by us coming together as a whole unit to force transparency in this fashion industry. And in this fashion industry, it just doesn't stop with designers. It's a collaborative effort. It starts from all the way from the intern, you know, all the way to the stylist, pulling it for to be on a red carpet. So when I say the fashion industry, I'm not specifically just tailoring it towards working professionals, working fashion professionals. I'm opening it up, but majority of it is centered towards working actual fashion designers that hold positions in corporate America or at private labels that's ready to be relatable and, like I said, air all of that juicy shit out. Okay, so this week's what we'll be discussing is the VMAs. Okay, um, and among the VMAs, we'll be basically discussing. I have a guest. His name is C. Dot. He is in music. He's an up and coming. I guess you would call. I would let him would introduce himself and tell you the genre of music. But basically, we're gonna do a hated or rated section. You hate it, then you hate it. If you rate it, then it's all good. We live for it. Other time, I would use my name Raider in terms to spray raid on shit that usually needs to be exposed. So when you hear this sound, you're gonna know it's some shit. And we about to talk about some drama, or we have an interviewer called in that's basically ready to talk, or if I have someone, industry professional, giving advice, we'll have that. A lot of times, a lot of my friends or people that's old coworkers come in and give you guys information or stories about how to survive or maintain or cover your ass in the industry. And the type of people that I choose to work with and call my friends, tend to, I would say, is people that's pretty transparent, that kind of keep it real, even when the shit hit the fan. That's self-sufficient and that's just dedicated, passionate, and good at what they do. Otherwise, I wouldn't even deal with them. So, man, introduce yourself.
Hey, what's up? Your boy C. Dot, R&B hip hop artist.
Okay, where can they find you, C. Dot?
You can find me on Instagram at C. Sings Rhymes.
C. Sings Rhymes. Okay, so welcome to our VMA 2019 Red Carpet, Raid the Red Carpet, Red the Runway segment. All right, so this is how this works. See, since you're you're a celebrity, aspiring celebrity, up and coming, and you're gonna be having a whole lot of stylists dress you. I want you, if you hate it, I want you to say hate it. If you rate it, I want you to say rate it. Okay?
Okay.
So let's start. Taylor Swift.
Oof. I hate it.
Hate it? Yeah, me too. Probably just as big, just because it's her. All right, Lizzo.
Love the editorial, but hate it on her. So rate the editorial, hate her.
She looked to me, she looked like kind of almost like packaging, like a perfume bottle or something. All right.
Or like some sort of Barbie. Yeah, that's what I thought when I got at it.
Next one, Camila Cabello.
I thought her look was decent, but I thought it could have been tied together a little bit better. So we're gonna go with rate it because I didn't hate it a bunch.
It kind of looked like she got caught in one of those air acrobats things that got stuck in there, meets with a little wedding. All right, so rate that. Keke Palmer.
I thought she looked phenomenal. So I'm going to go with rated.
Rated. All right. And Lil Kim.
I'm going to go with hated. It looked a little too stage for me. I just didn't appreciate all of the big puffs and all
Well, you know it's the VMAs. So, yeah. You know, it's extravagant, over the top fashion. So you hate it.
Yeah.
Le Moulin Rouge, huh?
It's If it was for the Oscars, yeah, but not for the VMAs.
All right, so now we're gonna go to the men.
Yes, yes.
Jonathan what is his name? Jonathan Van Ness.
Venice, yeah. I'm gonna go with Hate It.
Yeah, I don't know what the black riding the hood mess this is, but I hear you. Little Nas X.
Oh, Hate It.
What in the hell, dude? This was
just
designed
way too
by
much
Christian
going on.
Cowan. This is another classic case of how everybody is throwing Christian Cowan, how they're throwing him down our throats. His shit looked just cheap.
It looks
Lil
very
Nas X, you know better than that. You deserve a hater.
Yes.
Mark Jacobs.
I'm gonna go with Reedus. I love the colors and the shade of green that he has.
I don't know about this one. I'm on the fence with this. I'm gonna go with Hate It only because I felt like it's a zoot suit. And people like Mark Jacobs and a lot of the high-end designers, they typically look at urban areas and draw their inspiration from it, which this kind of goes to like Yves Saint Laurent and Christian Dior,
Yes.
Alexander McQueen,
Yep.
10 years ago. So I don't know how I feel about that one. Okay, Shawn Mendes.
Shawn Mendes, I'm gonna go with Rated.
Okay, yeah, it's simple. It's nothing special about it. Although they're trying to make him into a
Classic, very traditional.
heartthrob. Okay, and the man, Rick Ross.
I'm gonna go with Rated. There was something I did like about it because of, I guess, the monograms.
Yeah,
But
I'm on the fence about this, and we both know because we both live on the East Coast. It was goddamn hot Sunday. What were you doing, bruh? And with fur on, you could have did a little better.
on top of that, and Dapper Dan dressed him too.
Huh?
Dapper Dan dressed him as well, and it was just like he didn't even hit the spot.
I'm gonna leave Dapper Dan alone to another episode. But I'm on the fence on this one. All right, C-Dot. Thank you for calling us and let the audience know again where they can get your music at and everything.
Yeah, so it's your boy C-Dot. My music is on all streaming platforms, Apple, Spotify, Tidal, etc. You can find me on Instagram, C.Sings Rhymes, spell it out, and everything will be all good. You can click my link right there, and you can get all of my music that's available.
All right, everybody. All right, thank you, C-Dot. Have a good one, my friend. We'll talk later.
All right,
thank you for C-Dot for visiting us. He's an up and comer. You guys look at his music; it's like no other. I tend to go towards his real emotion in terms of what's going on in the environment right now with our country. His music exude the frustration that we all have right now, and it gives the question. It's a conversation piece. One of his songs that is thought provoking, and it asks the question. So, I brought him in because I think that celebrities and fashion work hands in hands, as such as beauty, as such as hair, as such as nails. That's why they're the biggest form of promotion for any aspiring or any established designers. And I'm glad I want to elaborate on this a little bit. Back in my day, I won a show on BETJ, and absolutely nothing came from it. I mean, they basically slaved our ass just for likes or for them to get recognition. Nothing came out of it, and it's the type of bullshit that started out that I started out with, and a lot of us start out with. That kind of set the tone of what the next few years will be. So, just to go into that a little bit, a lot of you probably wonder of how you can get your clothing or your accessories or whatever you have to sell on celebrities. Hands down, the number one way is their Instagram. Use Instagram, use the platform. Talk to them as if you were a professional already. I don't know about them, but no one wants to open up a message and it's deciphered, and you're only using one letter to express yourself. Like you. Spell a damn word out. That's why it's there. People have been using it for years, decades, century. So use it. You ain't that damn unique if you want to spell insta spell or whatever the hell it is. But send messages. Be diligent about sending messages. Send pictures of your clothing or whatever you have to offer. You know, see who's their management is. Email the management. It's just a diligent game. You know, it's a bunch of dealing with stylists sometimes can be like throwing spaghetti against the wall. You know, you might come into something that's real or cool, but a lot of them are crabs. To be honest with you, they don't like to share a lot of information. You never know what's really going on with them, and I can understand that because it's such a fickle position to be in, not knowing if you're in one day or if you're out one day. Um, and you know that's why number one, I always wanted to be designed. I just didn't want to be somebody that lays something on somebody. I wanted to be the creator. I wanted to be the person that can make it, and also if I wanted to style it, can do that too. So you know, I've walked with my fair share of stylists in the past, and you know, like I said, across the board, it's the same mentality. And I always wonder uh, if it even's important enough to bring it up to my stylist friends, or just leave it alone. 9 times out of time, I just leave it alone. So that's why we have a platform to talk about this shit. Um, and every now and then, you know, I'll get a celebrity, a stylist or whatever that asks me to help them out. Okay, guess what, chick? Guess what, dude? The boat goes both ways. You want me to help you design something or whatever, but you're not willing to pr- cross, you know, promote me to on your platform. Which to me, I feel like that makes you influential. Influential, that make you one of the trendsetters to find a diamond in the rough. But I digress. So yes, the best way to do that is to be diligent. Some, you know, just send people um, well thought out descriptions of your garments when you send it to them. You know, people barely go off of sketches these days, but hey, you know, just to be the most creative you can be. Um, so you know, so that's basically what that is. Uh, so yeah, um, let me. I guess I can start it out with telling you a situation or a story of mine that's kind of bizarre and crazy. I had this associate that I helped out in the past, did something tremendous for them, and they sold it to me like they wanted to basically help me out with a celebrity stylist needed someone to make unique shirts for a cast member on a talent show, one of the big talent competitions that are on one of the major networks. I had people in town, out of town visitors, and it was like in the afternoon, sometime midsummer. It happened to be pouring down raining. Okay, I live in Jersey. I don't know if a lot of you guys, you know, are familiar with the New York, New Jersey tri-state area, but it takes us about, well, me on a good day, because I drive close and then I get on the 161. Shout out to 161 with your late ass always. Okay, um, so I Half family calling, hey, we're in Times Square, which everybody loves. I don't know why. If you are in New York or working in the garment center in the area of the 40s or the 50s, you avoid that shit. It's chaotic. In the more recent climate, I just don't know what the hell is going to break out, when it's going to break out. So I avoid it. So, of course, my friends are there and they're like, hey, we're in Times Square, blah, 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 BBQs. We're right in front of this, and we're going to go to Madame Tussauds right across the street. Or do you want to meet me and David Buster? Full on excitement. So I said, you know what? You guys go shop. You go do what you do. If you can, grab a slice of pizza if you can, and meet me back in an hour or two. We can go have dinner if you want to have it at BBQs, which is like overeating the New York cheap place that everybody go to and have huge drinks, the size of a damn fishbowl. So, the whole time I'm meeting up with this lady that's a designer that have designed for and or upstarted other celebrity fashion lines that tanked, okay, after my research. But remember, this is an associate of someone that I know. Um, okay, how she sold it was, come, I have my friend, she's coming from out of town, she need at least 400 shirts, made, blah, 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 how much will it be? When I do business, if you ain't paying me, I don't gotta tell you shit. You get me in contact with the person that need it, and we're gonna go from there. If you wanted to make a true connection, or if you're trying to ride my back, which I feel like it was. However, I like to see all my people eat. And I'm the type of person, if you hooked me up or you helped me get a project, then I'm going to probably look out for you or take care of you. I think that we're all out here hustling and, trying to basically secure the bag. So I'm on my way to New York City on the 161 bus. It's pouring down raining. So she calls me, are you on your way? So I'm like, all right, you already in the wrong tone. Who the hell are you talking to? Because she's here and she's waiting. I say, okay, and I'm on my way. Okay, well, she's here and she's waiting. Do you have your shirts with you? What shirts are you talking about? That's the whole point of this meeting. You were supposed to have your shirts with you. Now, I'll post these shirts on my social media. I made a good penny doing these hand crafted shirts that I sold a couple years ago. I did one for a client's boyfriend at the time, and they wanted to make an introduction at the baby shower. It had a huge reaction. And actually, he wanted to do something in the future about the shirts, me designing the shirts or, doing a line for him. Didn't go anywhere, not needless to say, she wanted me to carry those in the torrential rain. And it automatically snapped me back into dealing with the crazy motherfuckers that I run across every day. Or when I first started. Why in the hell would I carry shirts in the rain to this woman I never spoke up to, and you orchestrated the whole thing? We didn't have a conversation. I don't know what her aesthetic is. I don't know how many pieces it is. So if you wanted to make a true connection, you should have connected us. I don't know. Text. I'll take Instagram. I'll take email. I'll take a phone call. I'll take Facebook. I mean, there's so many different ways that you could have made the connection if you really wanted to make a true connection. So she's texting me, you're full of excuses. You should have been here. I don't know. Just go and buy something else. And at that point, I said, look, I don't know what the fuck you're talking about, and I don't fucking work for you. So you would want to back off and let's air all your shit out. And you must have forget that I just did something for you that made sure that you were able to sustain yourself in where you're living at right now. So back the fuck up. And if you wanted her to talk to me, then give her my number. So, you walk across a lot of these people that are vampire and parasites in this industry. But, you just gotta have your head afloat of all of the bullshit that you want gonna come across. And I would say the most important part of doing what we do is to basically mind your own damn business. If you mind your own damn business, you'll keep creating, and if you keep creating, you'll grow with your skill. And minding your business means, you're doing your tags, you're promoting yourself, you are reaching out in the loop of things, in the loop of what interests you. If it's design, it's design. But mind your own business, be an entrepreneur, try to, start your online, because fashion is changing and it's going to be all online. It's going to be just regular people doing small orders, which I'm very excited about actually, because those big people made a lot of money and abused a lot of goddamn people in the process, and they're still open and we're still giving our money to them. So that's one piece right there. Yeah, so that's pretty much a story about me, the whole stylist thing or whatever. So, as always, join us every Wednesday on Spotify Podcasts. We're on Google Podcasts. We're on Pocket Cast. We're on Radio Plus. And hopefully Apple, with they slow ass, they'll approve my podcast so it can be on Apple Podcasts for majority of y'all Apple ass people. So that's what the show have to offer, people. So I'll see you next Wednesday, 7 o'clock, Apple Podcast, Spotify Podcast, Anchor FM / The Fashion Furious Podcast, Radio Plus, Google Podcast, and it goes on and on. You can follow my Instagram at the @thefashionfuriouspodcast.com, and I'll usually post different little postings and blogs and different outfits of people and different quotes from